Welcome and thanks for joining this session on stakeholder analysis and communication plans. In this presentation, we'll explore how strategic engagement can turn stakeholders from passive observers into active project champions, and why tailored communication and relationship management are essential to delivering successful outcomes. As you can see in the image, collaboration and clarity set the stage for strong project leadership. Before you communicate, you need to know who truly matters. This chapter sets out a practical approach to identifying stakeholders, distinguishing between those who hold decision power and those with influence or interest, and why that understanding is the foundation for any effective engagement. Think of this as mapping the people who can make or break your project. So, what is a stakeholder? Simply put, stakeholders are individuals or groups who affect or are affected by your project, from internal teams and executives to external customers, regulators, and community groups. The key point is that stakeholders can influence outcomes positively or negatively, so treating them as active participants rather than background actors is crucial for project success. A helpful way to structure stakeholder thinking is the 4Cs framework: customers, competitors, company, and community. This helps you consider end users and decision makers, market influencers, internal partners, and external groups that shape perception and regulation. Using these four lenses ensures your strategy accounts for both operational needs and the broader context. A stakeholder map grid plots interest against influence to prioritize engagement. High-interest, high-influence stakeholders need personalized, frequent interaction and targeted communication, while low-interest, low-influence groups often need only periodic updates. This visual tool guides where to allocate time and resources so you focus on relationships that materially affect project outcomes. Stakeholder analysis blends method with human insight. It's both art and science. This chapter explains how combining structured techniques, like mapping and scoring, with conversations and empathy will reveal motivations, concerns, and hidden risks. Balancing analytics with interpersonal understanding gives you the nuance needed to design realistic, respectful engagement approaches. Getting stakeholder analysis right can prevent costly misalignment. When needs are misunderstood, you risk scope creep, delays, and budget overruns. Conversely, aligning expectations early builds trust, reduces conflict, and supports collaborative problem-solving. Real-world impacts often include tailored reporting requirements from sponsors, so understanding those needs early saves time and money down the line. Conducting a stakeholder analysis starts by identifying all potential stakeholders, casting a wide net to include obvious and peripheral players. Next, assess each group's interest and influence and document their preferred communication channels. Treat the analysis as a living document that you update regularly, ensuring your engagement strategy evolves as the project and stakeholder landscape change. This case study shows how overlooking one stakeholder can derail an entire project. Failure to engage the local community early led to regulatory challenges, protests, lengthy delays, and substantial redesign costs. The lesson is clear: early, ongoing engagement with groups that have public influence or veto power is essential to protect timelines, budgets, and reputations. A strong communication plan turns stakeholder analysis into action by ensuring the right messages reach the right people at the right time. This chapter focuses on building a plan that translates insights about stakeholders into practical steps, so teams can move from theoretical mapping to daily engagement that supports decision-making and fosters accountability. A stakeholder communication plan is a strategic roadmap that defines how you will communicate with each group throughout the project lifecycle. It includes core components like goals, key messages, channels, timing, responsibilities, and metrics, and complements broader engagement activities by focusing specifically on information flow and consistent messaging for each audience. Building a communication plan involves 5 essential steps. First, analyze the current situation including channels and sentiment. Second, set smart communication goals that align with project objectives. Third, identify target audiences and tailor messages. Fourth, select appropriate channels and cadence. And fifth, assign responsibilities and timelines to ensure accountability and feedback collection. Aligning communication across departments is critical for consistent messaging. Cross-functional coordination with marketing, PR, and leadership ensures unity at every touchpoint, while designating a credible spokesperson builds trust with high-influence stakeholders. Using CRM tools and shared messaging frameworks helps track interactions and ensures everyone speaks from the same playbook to maintain organizational credibility. Implementation turns strategy into daily practice, and monitoring keeps your plan responsive. This chapter covers how to operationalize communication activities, maintain schedules, and track stakeholder reactions so your efforts remain effective. Regular check-ins and adaptive workflows make it possible to pivot when stakeholder needs or project conditions evolve, keeping engagement relevant and timely. Tailoring communication frequency and channels is about matching effort to stakeholder needs. High-influence stakeholders typically need personalized briefings and face-to-face meetings, while low-influence groups often do well with newsletters or quarterly updates. Leveraging digital collaboration platforms and automated reporting improves efficiency and provides measurable engagement data so you can be precise about outreach. Measuring communication effectiveness requires clear KPIs, systematic feedback, and data analysis. Define metrics like awareness, sentiment, and participation, gather input through surveys and interviews, and track engagement analytics over time. Use this feedback loop to refine messages and tactics, adapting your plan based on evidence rather than assumption to continuously improve stakeholder outcomes. A finance sector example shows how a focused, 5-step communication plan can transform investor relations and project delivery. Tailored messaging for different audiences, regular investor briefings, monthly internal newsletters, and a dedicated updates portal led to smoother fundraising cycles and higher investor satisfaction. This demonstrates how disciplined communication drives alignment and measurable results. Learning from successes and failures is the core of continuous improvement. This chapter highlights best practices such as starting communication early, engaging proactively with key influencers, using visual tools like stakeholder maps, and maintaining alignment with organizational objectives. Avoid complacency by treating engagement as ongoing work, not a one-time task, so stakeholder relationships remain strong. To conclude, communication is the heartbeat of stakeholder success. Strategic engagement reduces risk, builds support, and turns observers into champions who actively advocate for your project. Your next steps are to map stakeholders systematically, set clear communication goals, and start engaging with purpose and consistency so your project gains the trust and alignment it needs to thrive.